Things are a little bit everywhere, but I'm sure you guys understand that sometimes these things happen. Dibbo, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Trust you've all had a great weekend, except for if you're a Dragons and a Broncos fan. Um, I'll tell you what's one thing that's a near certainty, or using Scott Steiner mathematics, 108% certainty that I'll be wearing a Bulldogs jersey next week. If the planets don't all align and the Dolphins and the Knights don't draw, basically, and then the Dragons prevail over Canberra, I'll definitely be wearing a Bulldogs jersey next week.
Honestly, if it happens, that is literally a miracle. That is nothing but a miracle. If that happens,
Scott Steiner mathematics, 108% chance of happening. If anyone's watched the Scott Steiner clips from back in the days about probability, so yeah, it was an interesting week of footy, a bit of a crazy week of footy, to be honest. What a week, man! It was just had a lot of drama in it, to be honest. I know you Canterbury fans. I don't think you guys would have been that upset. I mean, he's had to lose one eventually, and then there's still fighting there. So,
I say this. I said this on Twitter, and everybody got so dirty on me. But I was like, we weren't going to win 11 games straight, right, to get to the grand final.
No, I laughed at that. Okay, that's a good way of staying positive. Canterbury went down by 12 points.
Yeah.
Missing a few players. Probably had a few calls go against their way. Manly were playing out of their skin. They did turn it on. Best. I'll be honest, they're probably the best they've played all year. One of the best. Canterbury were dropping balls. They were doing some uncharacteristic mistakes I haven't seen them do in a while. I mean, I know Reid Marnie still scored a few tries, but he dropped some balls cold, so did kick out. So, if it's a game they had to lose to reassess, give themselves a reality check. It's you learn from your losses. They say you learn more from your losses than you win. So, it's not all doom and gloom for Canterbury. They're sitting fifth. A win can still potentially propel them into the top four. A loss, I mean, they're still in the finals, man. There's, things could be worse. You could lose the last and bomb out of the finals when.
Look, to be honest, I know that it is a loss that we had to have. I don't really like the way we lost. I think we got dominated up the middle by Taniela Paseka, Nathan Brown, Ola Kawatu. I think their forwards all had the games of the year, which I was not expecting. I thought we'd be a little bit better in our defense.
Right.
But, I think it was the loss that we had to have. There's, and the haters are out, right? The haters are like, oh, the Bulldogs they've been found out. Are they now vulnerable? Is there an issue? Things like that. So, it's a very interesting situation at the moment. I think with the Bulldogs, we've got a couple of injuries coming into the game against the Cowboys, so there's every possibility that we do lose 2 games in a row, and that is also, a detrimental situation. I don't think you want to go into any finals having lost 2 on the trot. So there's a lot there to discuss, I think, and there's a lot there that could be happening, be going good, or I don't know. There's just a lot at the moment. What are your thoughts on that, Dibbo?
Yeah, look, the haters all came out of their caves.
Yeah,
they weren't cited for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden, after one loss, they came out and, a lot of fans are just bitter. Like, it's embarrassing. If your team's not in the finals and you're coming out to have a go at the Bulldogs, please don't embarrass yourself and your club. Just stay out of it. No finals for 8 years, and some of the bitterness of other fans towards Canterbury, absolute scumbags. Not worth wasting your time for. Just laugh at them, reminding them that Canterbury's in the finals for 2024, and can't take that away from us. So enjoy watching us from your moth-eaten couch at home. So, in terms of basically this game, not a good look. You learn a lot more from a loss, they say, than a win. Obviously, ideally, going against the Cowboys, you're at home again. You do want to make a statement going to week 1 of the finals. Getting the win against the Cowboys guarantees a home final. Increases, having a home game always increases your chance of a win. I know finals is a whole new ball game, but I mean, whether you play the Cowboys in the finals, they haven't exactly set the world on light. on fire, rather. I mean, whether you get a rematch against Canterbury, against Manly. You've played them a few weeks ago, so I'm sure you can only improve from there. And then whether you get the Knights or the Dolphins, two sides have already slayed this year, so optimistic. And then there's always a chance that you can play the top four again. So, I wouldn't be aiming of just week one and then an exit. If I was Canterbury, I'd be aiming to put themselves in the mix, for a preliminary final, and try to give yourselves a chance at grand final glory. And look, you can tell if things are starting to heat up, because today, how normally when your team's in the finals, you start sticking streamers on your car and those flags and that. And I know it's the last week of the regular round, but driving up here to the Canterbury area, and I started seeing it everywhere, it put a smile on my face. Obviously I haven't seen my side make it for a while, but also Canterbury haven't made it for a while, but it put a smile on my face, because down these neck of the woods, I used to see that every single year. There's a young generation of Canterbury fans that haven't experienced that yet. So I think this year's capturing their imagination. So, yeah, I think it actually puts a real smile on my face, see those kids, because it's something I went through every year. I used to just wait for that year and, wait for my side to make those upsets in the finals. I'm sure a lot of you older guys, besides the Dogs of War of the 80s era, Canterbury and St. George in the 90s, or the second half of the 90s, wouldn't exactly finish in the top half of the finals ladder. They finished in the bottom half of the 8 ladder. But then they'd just go on their upset run. Like, Canterbury 95 captured the title. St. George in 96, they made it all the way to the grand final. Canterbury 98, I think they finished 9th, made the grand final. St. George from the bottom half of the 8 made the grand final. Like, it's just, it's great memories. And, yeah.
Brian Dibb reckons that the Dogs got exposed. Holden Forever thinks that the interview with Max King says everything about why we lost. We're getting ahead of ourselves, thinking we're already in a grand final, one game at a time.
No, I don't think the boys got ahead of themselves. Manly had to really, really, they played out of their skins. Tommy Turbo had he was killing it. And then also Manly also had the threat of, if they were to lose, they could also potentially crash out of the finals. So there was always, potential.
I think we as Bulldogs fans, I think we still suffer the trauma of what we went through over the last few years. Is that as soon as we have one bad game or one horrible performance or something goes wrong, it doesn't go exactly to what we've seen, we start to feel like, oh, it's all coming back, it's getting worse, it's this, it's that. I actually don't think the Bulldogs got exposed. Now, some people may call me a conspiracy theorist, but here's my thinking, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. Right? I actually believe that while Ciraldo wasn't aiming for a loss, I think Ciraldo actually went quite easy on the training over the in the week prior to the Manly game. Why I think that what I think was happening was that Ciraldo knew that they had travelled a lot. Like, when I was younger and people used to talk about the effect of travel on the players and stuff, I used to laugh it off and say, no, it's not really that big of a deal. When you look at the Bulldogs, the 5 weeks prior that we had won, we said that if we had won 3 of the 5, it would be a success, or 4 of the 5 would be an astounding success. We won all 5. We beat the Broncos up in Brisbane, the Dolphins in Bundaberg. We had to come back to Belmore. Then we had to go to Auckland, right? So the Bulldogs have been travelling for a very, very long time. And it does get to the players. They do feel the fatigue. Coming into the Manly game, I think that Ciraldo would have maybe dialed down the training a little bit. Maybe he wouldn't have had 2 or 3 difficult days. He would have just had one tough day. And so the boys came in a little bit flat. They were resting up. They were taking their time and not putting as much effort. And so they started a little bit flat. And in the back of the boys' minds, I think they all knew that there was a loss that had to happen. Because honestly, if you think about, we go for a run, right? If we go for a run and make it to the prelim, that's like if we didn't lose against Manly, we would have won 10 in a row, right?
You know what? It's at the same time, it's good that he's lost. Like I said before, you learn more from a loss than a win. They had won 5 or 6 in a row. Obviously, this is a good reality check, I feel. It's back to the drawing board. They got another finals top 8 team in Cowboys that could potentially play him along the way. Then you got to arc up. Obviously, they lose Bronson Sherry this week, but they get, Captain Planet back in Stephen Crichton. Look, I know Canterbury now know they have to muscle up. They're probably outmatched in size in the forwards. Look, those boys are tenacious. They've shown it through the 26 rounds. They're not just going to crumple like that. So, I don't follow Canterbury, but I'll back those players to the hilt. They're not going to crumble. They're not going to go away easy. Like, sure, you lose week 1 of the finals. It was no fluke they made the finals. But, back 'em, boys. I still get Canterbury winning week 1 of the finals. Any side could lose in the first week. Some top 4 side could lose back-to-back. It happens. But the focus is obviously this week. And I think Canterbury, they're at home again, 30,000+ crowd again. I'd love to see it hit 40, to be honest. I think they'll make a statement, to be honest. I'll be surprised if they don't. But I think, and it's probably good if Cam didn't go hard on them. It's probably good. I mean, last thing you want the players at this time of the year is having burnout. Like you see some sides like the Melbourne Storm, they rested some players. Penrith, you know what? I don't think they're fatigued or anything. I think they might be getting most of their players back at the right time. On the other side, you got a side that's battered and bruised. I don't think we'll win. They might win this week against South, but I don't even have them probably winning any finals game in the Roosters. They've lost their halfback. They've lost their hooker. A lot of their team looks battered and bruised. They probably lost Swalitia as well. Manu was clutching his ribs. They got Joe Warrior Hargraves suspended. That side is battered and bruised. Nat Butcher was concussed. Canterbury's in the 8. Shouldn't matter where they finish. Just go in there and be in good shape. That's how I see it. Look, I'm just going to be off topic a bit, but I was on my phone a bit. I actually got a viewer from South Africa who I met on my travels a few months ago that just messaged me saying, Dib, I'm actually watching you live. So Nadeem, you're watching, mate. All my love to you, and thanks for tuning in from South Africa and spread the gospel of the rugby league there. His favourite side is actually the Canterbury Bulldogs. So, I don't know. I didn't convince him. He just happens to follow him. So he's in good company with Nadeem.
Welcome, Nadeem. Now, a couple of the comments talking about we need bigger forwards, that, we were exposed. We're going to get exposed in the finals. We're leaking... we're leaking a lot of points on the edge, as Brian Dibb is saying, and Sammy Huss is saying, Bulldogs need bigger forwards. I think it's interesting.
Size doesn't always win you games.
Bulldogs fans' memories, I think, are very, very short. We've been up against much bigger forward packs and not get dominated. I think that every game and every loss needs to be taken in context. If you look at since round 13, we've lost 3 games.
I guarantee you.
Right? So we're 9 of 12.
Yeah.
Or 10 of 13.
Oh, fantastic.
I think that's
I don't think the players are content.
Of course they're not. And
I think if anything, it's you fans who are content making the finals. But watching those players, I don't think they're just content making the finals. I know they want to go further than just making the first or second week of the finals. The fans have every right to be content. It's the players I know that are more hungry. And I can read from their body language. I reckon they're going to go not 2 weeks, 3 weeks in at the least. Just reading just the way they've been throughout the whole year. Not one of them seems to have ever got him ahead of himself on the field or even in the media.
I
not even the coach.
Yeah. And look, Luke said, I'm not buying into the need bigger forward stuff. I completely agree. It's not that I don't think we need bigger forwards. I just don't think that is going to be our make or break. A lot of people want to say, we got bullied, we got this, we got that. Honestly, as I say, we've come up against much bigger forwards, much bigger packs, and we've been able to keep them at bay and keep them out. The way that Manly was scoring their tries, it was like the team just could not keep the energy up at the same level. It's sort of like they did need a break. They were tired. Again, this may be the optimist in me, right? This may be the optimist in me, but everything needs to be taken in context. There was a lot of travel involved. We've had a very, very big year. Some of our players, have absolutely killed it over the last over the last 6 months. The boys are very new, barely played with each other, and you're going to get to a point where it's they were gonna lose the game before the finals, whether it be Manly or it was the Cowboys. The Bulldogs were going to lose the game, and to forget just how consistent we've been, and keep in mind we are the best defensive team in the competition, or we were. Right, we were the best defensive team in the competition. So, for me, again, I have a lot of faith in Seraldo. I think that what he's done is an absolutely incredible job. And look, it's not excuses.
Really, are you having a skirmish with Samir Williams?
Yeah, no. Look, I think
I love those comments.
I think that, and you know what, the fact that our own fans are
should be a lawyer,
are calling us off. Are writing us off, it means that the opposition's writing us off, which means that we're going to be flying under the radar, just like we've been for a majority of the year. The minute sort of the fever, the hype hit a fever pitch, we started to falter a little bit. And I think being underestimated, flying under the radar is exactly what suits the Bulldogs. Right, next week everybody's going to come in and they think that we're going to get run over.
No one's talking them up.
McLean's going to do that. Before you know it,
they're talking up Manly, but Manly's got Turbo and Saab out for the rest of the after one win. Against So that's good news for you guys.
But I mean, Turbo. Hopefully, I think Turbo will be back. Turbo will be back
playing at 40%.
He'll be back in first round of the finals. Yeah, he'll be playing. He won't be playing at 100%. I don't even think he's at 100% yet. As Arthur has just mentioned, we're favourites this week, even with Hutchison as the 6. I'm interested to see how Hutchison goes alongside Sexton, with Sexton calling the shots.
Birdo's just rested us.
Yeah, look, honestly,
could have played,
They actually could have.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think
you want to be healthy going into the finals.
I think he could have. I think we could have applied for an exemption to have him to play because it was a Category 2, not a Category 1. But the club was smart. The club knows that it's probably a good idea to give Burden that week off anyway. Let him rest. Let him recover. Crichton's had a week off. Burden's had a week off.
Sherry will have a week off.
Sherry gets a week off. So
Curran.
No, Curran's fine. I don't think Curran has that.
Doesn't need a rest this week.
No, I don't think it's fine. I do think that we missed Man though. I think in the middle we definitely missed Man. Salmon played okay. I thought Salmon did okay, but he's not the answer. I don't think Salmon is the answer there. Man just has the ability to tackle hard, but also he has that step in the line to break. His passing game's really good, digs really deep into the line, and has a good ball out the back. So look, I think
he's versatile.
Yeah, man was definitely missed. And I think, look, to be honest, the other thing that I found really, really, really affected us was not having Crichton there. I think not having Crichton there affected our defense a lot. And Jamie Teasdale in with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Jamie. You are absolutely legend. It's just thank you so much for all your support, my friend.
Who wants to see me wear a Bulldogs jersey next week?
Yeah, I think you're wearing it, bro. I think you're wearing it, bro.
Unless that draw comes. Oh my God. Saying wackier things happen, but anyways.
I mean, I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you what I did see against Manly that really impressed me, and that was Sexton's dedication. I thought Sexton's dedication was incredible. For the whole 80 minutes, Sexton and Preston did not give up. They did not give up for a minute. I thought they were excellent the whole way through. And look, to be honest, I took a lot out of Sexton's performance. He was everywhere, and you can see he never gave up. And look, towards the end, the last 20, 25 minutes, the Dogs showed a lot of fight, showed a lot of ticker. So that for me was very, very pleasing because we're in the fight. We're always in the fight. And to be honest, like people are saying, the Doggies got smashed. The Doggies got this. We lost by 12 points. It's not even our biggest losing margin in the season. We've lost by more. So again, people are sort of overestimating what happened. Sure, we did get dominated. We didn't ever look like we were going to win, but we never got blown off the park. And I feel like it's a lot to take away for this week coming up against the Cowboys. And don't forget, like I think everybody.
I haven't seen the lineups yet, so obviously you'll go through them later.
I just want to give a big shout out to Sammy Huss for a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. All your support means the world to us.
Can we run a poll? I don't know if we can organise one, but I mean, what doggies jersey do you guys want to see me wear? The 1988 HFC Finance one or the 95 Hyundai one? I'm actually favouring a 1988 one. But
let's flip a coin. But I did want to make one more comment and tell me what you guys think. Right, Manly lost to the Tigers the week before. Right,
Yep.
Manly lost to the Tigers the week before. They were bound to come back and come back strong. You know, you don't lose to the Tigers and then come out and put a performance that's just as poor again. Yeah? So the Manly were always going to come out really, really strong. And the Dogs have had we've had good, 3 months of being up on the high. And so it was just the perfect storm for the Dogs to lose. You know, people forget so many different issues and so many different factors that affect a game. Again, we didn't get smashed. We lost by 12 points. And there were some great signs there. Sherry ran for 250 meters. Preston, a couple of line breaks, try assist, try.
I thought he was your best. He was always trying.
He was fantastic.
Up to the last second, he was having a dig. Sexton, same thing. Look, for the players' morale, really hope they beat the Cowboys this week. Just to give them and the fans that extra edge going into the finals, and also you want that home finals. I really actually want to see a lot of haters just, silenced.
I love the haters.
I saw really some grubby comments online. I thought, geez, that's unwarranted. What, Canterbury aren't allowed to play finals?
Yeah.
The clubs they follow, are they entitled to play finals every year, but not Canterbury?
There are a lot of opinions on what jersey you should be wearing, but I just want to call out Zatar, who's given us a $8 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. He said Dibbo to renounce the Dragons and pledge allegiance to the Bulldogs.
Mate, that's more unlikely than a Everton fan becoming a Liverpool fan or a Liverpool fan becoming an Everton fan. It's actually more unlikely than that. So, maybe you have to you might have to add a few zeros behind that. Anyways. Can't put a price.
We got rolled for 65 minutes. Look, we did get rolled, but don't forget, I think one of the worst things that could have happened for us is we scored in the first minute. I think we scored in the first minute and we thought, yep, this is going to be a walkover. We're too good. It's going to be the same as before, so on and so forth. And that it probably got to their heads a little bit. Because, even though I feel
Turbo was having a game.
I thought DCE was really, really good. Brad giving us a $5 super chat. Man, thank you so much for all the super chats today. We're so humbled. Thank you.
Are you guys really? You guys are going to kill my life. This is about to go. By the time I'm thinking I'm going to use these funds to. You guys choose the jersey, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The Dibbo Bulldogs jersey fund next week. Hard to leave the Red V behind.
I don't know who said 1985. I think it was Jamie Teasdale.
Yeah, Jamie Teasdale, 1985.
I think a few of them have said 1985. What was the 1985 one? Was also HFC Finance?
Not sure. We'll look it up.
Can you also check me what the 1979 Canterbury jersey was?
So Jordan's pointed out, as soon as we knew we were finals bound, our intensity momentarily dropped. I think that's actually a great point. I think that they sort of let their hair down just a little bit to see or to relax, knowing that, okay, they've achieved that goal of making the finals, which is a big thing. After 8 years of no finals, after, being, presumed to get the wooden spoon, right, to make the finals, I think it's fantastic. And I think Jordan's absolutely right, is that we sort of let our hair down. I know for a fact that the training wasn't as intense and wasn't as we didn't have as many tough training sessions as we usually do, and that would contribute to it. Plus the travel, plus so many other things that go on. Tariq's saying, Tariq says, I don't see the issue with the loss. It happens. That's the process. I 100% agree. We came up against a very, very good Manly team with a very, very big pack. And look, to be honest,
come at the right time.
It's absolutely come at the right time. And if you look at the loss, Paseka, Olakawatu, Nathan Brown, and I thought Carl Lawton had their best games of the year for Manly. I think they had their best games of the year. And DCE was on fire. It was a full team performance. And again, not to make any excuses, but I reckon it's I think we it's a loss that I'm happy we had. I walked away quietly thinking it's good we had this loss now and not in the first week of the finals. That's really how it looked. That's how I look at it.
Look, once you get hopefully you get your full repertoire in the back line, because Brian pointed out something. You miss one centre and then get a reshuffle, and it seems like affects the rest of the side in defending on the fringes. Like Kiraz is great defending on the flank. Obviously, Crichton wasn't there. Crichton's like he's like the impenetrable wall basically. So Skelton went in on that wing, and maybe a good idea is going to the Tigers. So as much as I actually like watching him play, but you can't keep them all. At the same time, Cam's not going to just let someone go. He really wants to keep. So
Zatar just made a comment, and Luke's responded to Zatar's asked, "Are the Cowboys going to bring back the world's best halfback, Chad Townsend, for the game?"
Oh, yeah.
And then Luke's come back and he said, "Townsend versus Hutchison battle would be fire."
Townsend
versus Hutchison would be fire. I mean, that's gold. That's absolute gold. Look, 100%. I think that's very, very interesting. Imagine a Townsend, the world's slowest halfback competition.
How did Chad Townsend win a grand final again?
Look, he was a lot better when he was younger. I think he lost that pace of speed. And to be honest, even if you look at DCE, right, his game management and his raw ability is still there, but even his passing, his running, his kicking, I feel is just a little bit slower than he's been the last few years.
Can't
That's
compare.
what happens with age.
Can't compare.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying
One's
it's all about age. I'm saying it's all about age. And DCE will go down as one of the best ever. I'm no disrespect to DCE. But Chad Townsend was very good for the Cowboys, for example, 2022. He was
a fluke.
He was really good. You can't say it was a fluke. He was excellent for them.
Showed how he really plays those last 2 years. Not like Cowboys. Anyways.
Zatar saying people just don't rate Hutcho's 2 left feet.
2 left feet.
Look, as long as it's Sexton controlling the game, and he's the one calling the shots. I think Hutchison will play his role perfectly.
You know what's funny? I think it was the roast or some footy memes, social media put a post up slowest plays in the NRL, and every single one of them was a forward. So you had the likes of like Blake Laurie and George Rose, and then there was only one back in there. Not hard to guess who it was. It was Drew Hutchison. It was crazy. It was just
So as it stands, right? This is the way. It breaks down. If we win next week, we play the winner of the Knights and the Dolphins at Accor, right? If we lose,
can't you guys still make the top 4 if Manly knock over?
We'd have to win by like 200.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If we lose, we play Manly.
You can't catch the Roosters or Penrith?
No.
Oh.
If we lose, we play Manly. If we lose and Manly wins, we play Manly at 4 points. If we lose and Manly lose, we play Manly at Accor.
Right, revenge.
Right? If Manly win and we lose, we play them at 4 points. But if we win, we play Accor against the Dolphins of the night. So basically, it's a must-win game for us. If we win against the Cowboys, I know that the Knights and the Dolphins will be a tough ask, but I think...
What happens if they draw? Then you got Canberra. So it's Canberra.
Then I would say it's Canberra, not St. George. They've beaten 2 of the top 4 in the last 2 weeks. I don't think...
You know what would be even worse? If Knights and what's he called draw, and then the Dragons and the Raiders go draw.
Then it's just on point. I think it'll be 4 and against.
It'll be the Dolphins still.
4 and against?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the
That'll
Dolphins.
be crazy.
So, there's a lot of and I can't believe that the season has been so competitive that it's literally coming down to the final game of the season. So the Knights and the Dolphins will be the Sunday 4 p.m. game that will determine who sits where in the top 8. That's what it comes down to. And a lot of people say, the competition's, there's not much competition, but I love it. I just think that the way the competition is, how tight everything's being competed for, I think it's a lot of fun. And to see the Raiders, for example, beat the Roosters, it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things. And to be honest, I actually tipped the Raiders. Believe it or not, I tipped the Raiders.
You did, yeah. Sammy Huss, to answer your question, yes, he is. He debuted for him as well, if you didn't realise. And on top of that, there was a NRL Telstra commercial about 14 years ago or something.
What was this about? Sorry.
Or sorry, about Drew Hutchison. There was an NRL Telstra commercial about 20 years ago, nearly. There was a blonde kid wearing a Dragons jersey in that commercial. That was actually Drew Hutchison. So, yeah, we gave you, we outsmarted us on this one. We delivered you what about our juniors anyway.
Well, to be honest, like, one of the things that a lot of the players have consistently said in the interviews about Drew Hutchison is that Drew Hutchison is one of their leaders, one of their sort of leaders off the park, and he's been great for the team and for the morale. So, look, whatever you think of him on the field, clearly he's added to the culture. Clearly he's added to the Bulldogs' success. Now, enough about the Manly game. Oh, I just want to say, out of every single team we've faced and every single fan base that we've come against, the most vitriolic and the most horrible were the Manly Sea Eagles fans.
There was only like 10 of them, though.
They were the worst. On Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter, I thought at the game.
The way, honestly.
Keyboard warriors, eh? Can't rock up to the game, so they're going to go behind the screen.
Some were great. Look, some were great. Some were great. I was trying to just engage in banter, like really, really innocent stuff. Like I just said, I put out there, so I still think the Bulldogs have had a better year than Manly, and they'll finish higher.
I don't think anyone really comes across Manly fans. They're isolated and they never travel.
The Manly fans, wallahi dib, the amount of swearing and the amount of direct abuse that they gave online was the most vitriolic I've come across. And people want to talk about Penrith or
the last laughed on them.
And it was Manly. It was the Manly fans. And I was like...
Well, they got no Tommy Turbo, so...
Yeah, I was just like, hang on a second.
They're not beating Cronulla.
I haven't said anything disrespectful. I haven't called anyone out. All I'm saying, I'm just making some comments about my team and about the game and everyone's... And they were quite bad.
They're definitely not beating Cronulla.
Look, they're not going to beat Cronulla. They probably will come up against the Cowboys in North Queensland. Yep. And I reckon that the North Queensland Cowboys will be up for that game. I think that North Queensland Cowboys will be up, especially if Turbo isn't playing at 100%. Because if for Turbo, because it's a grade, I think it's either grade 2 or grade 3 AC joint injury, right?
Yep.
AC joint tear. So if it's a grade 3,
is this Turbo AC?
Yeah, Turbo. Right. So they're saying
have to play with painkilling injections. I've had an AC joint injury before. They were actually irking for a while as well.
So, for me, I want to see Turbo. I don't want to see Turbo injured. I want to see Turbo play. I don't care how bad people's fans are or how much I dislike a team. I never, ever, ever want to see a player injured or taken out or anything like that. And I never wish that on any player. But I do want Manly to lose. Out of all the teams, I think I dislike Manly the most. And I think that if it's Manly versus the Cowboys up in North Queensland always perform up there. I know Tarek is a hardcore Cowboys supporter. And he's saying the Cowboys are not firing 26 weeks and their defense is weak. Look, I agree with you. I thought that their win against the B team, Melbourne C team, wasn't a great performance, but also, it's not unexpected considering that they knew they were playing a B team. So you can't be too harsh on them, I think. But, I think come to the finals, everybody steps up a little bit. And I think Manly may have just played their grand final. Because if you look at Paseka, how many good games he has a year? He has probably 4 good games a year. Nathan Brown always runs hard, but has 1 or 2 good games a year like that where it actually stands out. Even though he's been very consistent this year. And so, it's like Manly is like, oh, we beat this, we beat that. Look, they talk about beating all the top 8 teams. They've had them at different times where they haven't had their superstars, right? Or they've gotten them in lucky situations, and they want to talk about, oh, look at us, we're doing this, we're doing that. Get out of here, man. Manly fans are nothing. Seabold doesn't have anything. And that's why I think, I think Manly are the weakest. To be honest, I would give 8th position, whether it's Knights or the Dolphins, probably a better chance than Manly. That's how much I dislike Manly. And I'm sure a lot of... But I was really disappointed with the way Manly fans came at me. And the thing is, if you come at me with banter, I love it, and I'll respond. And if I'm humbled, I'll put my hand up and say, good call. I'll always say good call. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but if someone makes a good call or a fair call or calls me out, I'll put my hand up and say, yeah, well done. But these guys came at me swearing and attacking, and I'm just like, what's the point of this? Why are you guys saying this stuff? Like, why are you being so disgusting, in the way you're responding?
Yeah, so
Wait, Manly's no. So Wes just mentioned Manly is known to be the nice guys of the NRL. If there are teams to hate, Roosters or Melbourne, Redhead, you hate the Northern Beaches.
I think he's being sarcastic.
Because they're definitely not the nice people of the
No one
NRL.
likes
Let me
Manly
tell you.
unless money's involved. So yeah.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Cowboys game. I want to preview, talk about the team that was named. So the Bulldogs will be facing the Cowboys Saturday at 5:30 at Accor Stadium.
Yep.
And I think this crowd will be bigger than the Manly Sea Eagles crowd. I think we're going to get about 40,000 to this one.
Just to bring it home, eh?
Yeah, I think it'll be a massive crowd.
They're going to create the hype for this one. You need probably Crichton or a few of the stars to come out during the week. Try to rev up the fans to come out. You're still going to get a big crowd, but just to rev them up, remind them it's the last week before the finals, and come home and bring us home to make the finals. And
like Platinum, a lot of the Platinum seats are sort of sold out, already, single seats only. Gold sort of single seats only. So the sales have been great. And it's looking like it's selling a little bit faster than the Manly game. So it's going to be a big game on Saturday. And the team announced is an interesting one. Earlier, I saw someone mention, I think it was Zata was mentioning that Skelton was limping during the Manly Sea Eagles game, and Fox also had a bit of an injury.
Yep.
So just quickly, the team named Tracy at fullback, Skelton on the wing, Kiraz in the centres, Crichton is back in the centres, Josh Adokar on the wing. At 5'8", we've got Drew Hutchison, Toby Sexton at 7. The forward pack is Max King, Reid Marnie, Sam Hughes. Second row, we've got Viliami Kikau, Jacob Preston, Jamin Salmon starts at lock. Our bench is Bailey Hayward, Curtis Morin, Harry Hayes, and Josh Curran. Now, for the Cowboys, Jason Taumalolo and Jeremiah Nanai are back. So they've named quite a strong team.
Didn't Taumalolo play the last game?
I don't think he did. I don't think he played the last game.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wait, so let me check. Sorry, who's in then?
Jeremiah Nono? I thought he played the last game.
No, I don't think he played the last game.
But
yeah.
Taumalolo, I'm sure, did play.
Or was it Cotter? Oh, sorry, I think it's Cotter. Cotter that's back. Sorry, Cotter and Nanai.
Cotter played as well.
No, Cotter was out with the HIA.
You sure?
Yeah, it was Cotter that was out with the HIA. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what game I was watching, but anyways, I thought Cotter was playing.
Yeah, so anyway, look, then their team is Drinkwater at the back, Felt, Holmes, Viliami Vailea, Murray Talangi, Tom Dearden is captain, and they're 5'8", Jake Clifford is at 7. Their forward pack is Jordan McLean, Reece Robson, Jason Taumalolo. Their second row is Halem Lukey, Jeremiah Nanai, and Ruben Cotter locks the scrum. On the bench, they've got Sam McIntyre, who's having an incredible season, an absolutely incredible season. Thomas McKaylee, Harrison Edwards, and Griffin Neem, who I think has been their best prop. Griffin Neem has been fantastic. What a find for the Cowboys over the last couple of years. Interestingly, they've got Finifuiaki on the bench, on the reserve, sorry. I would say that Finifuiaki will come into the starting lineup for the Cowboys with potentially either Thomas McKaylee or Harrison Edwards dropping out. Because I think Finifuiaki is too good to leave out of the team.
So must win for the Cowboys as well.
I think it's a must win for either team. It's definitely finals 1 week early.
Because the Cowboys want to guarantee themselves a home final up in Queensland.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I think is very interesting is that last week Fox had a bit of an injury and did continue to play injured, and I thought Jarrell Skelton again was also running a bit lame. So on the extended bench, Blake Taff, Jack Underhill, Ellie Clark, Lipoi Hopoi, and Jonathan Su'a. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Su'a does make his debut on the wing in place of either Skelton or the Fox. I've got word that they're both going to be playing. They're both okay. They've both pulled up well.
I'd stick to Skelton. Like, it's the business end of the
season.
No,
unless he's injured. I'm just saying for injury, not for form. I'm saying injury.
Right.
If there's an injury.
Yep.
But I've gotten word that they're both fine and they'll both be playing.
Yeah.
But the coach could make some changes. I get the feeling that on game day, Bailey Hayward might start at 6. I know that sounds a bit conspiratorial, but I get the feeling Bailey Hayward might start at 6.
He hasn't played in the halves all year, though. That's odd. The last game of the season.
Well, he played in place of Burden there at 6, and I thought he did very well.
When was this?
Yeah, against Manly. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And I thought when he was there, we still attacked very well. And I think Hutchison may go back to 14 or push Salmon to 14 and start at lock. I think that's what may happen. I think that sounds like a better attacking team, if I'm honest with you. This is sort of what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Hutchison will start at 6, or do you think Hayward will come in there, start? I don't know. I just feel like there may be some changes there. Now,
as long as